You know the story. You've seen it 1,000 times. It's in the commercials for walking tubs or I've fallen and I can't get up. It's in the condescending way people start talking to you, and it's definitely in those birthday cards joking about being over the hill. The story is that aging is one long, slow decline. It's a time of loss, of letting go, of becoming smaller, quieter, more invisible. We're told this story so often we start to actually believe it. We start to live it. We start shrinking ourselves to fit into the tiny cramped box society builds for us. I want to travel the world, but I'm just too old now. I would love to go on that hike, but at my age, go for a run? Are you crazy? I've heard these lines from people younger than me. But what if I told you that story is a lie? A deeply damaging, pervasive lie that's stealing years of joy, purpose, and vitality from your life. What if that whole narrative of decline is the biggest myth of all? And by believing it, we actually help make our reality. I'm here today at 64 years old to tell you that I've spent the last decade proving that lie wrong in my own life. And in this video, we're going to dismantle those lies one by one and uncover the powerful, liberating truth about what it really means to get older. The truth is that my later years have been the most fulfilling, expansive, and joyful period of my entire life, not in spite of my age, but because of it. And all started the moment I decided to stop believing the lies. So if you ever felt that little pang of fear about a birthday or looked in the mirror and felt a sense of dread about the future, this video is for you. Let's start with the first and maybe the most insidious lie of all. Lie number one, the lie of irrelevance. You become invisible and useless. This is the big one, isn't it? The little whisper that says your time is up, you made your contribution, now it's time to step aside. It's the lie that your value is tied to your career, to raising your kids, to your youthful productivity. And once those things change, what's left? I know this lie intimately. For a while there, I lived inside of it. When I sold my running store after 13 years, which I opened after my 20-year career as a certified public accountant, CPA, over 30 years of working, the silence was just deafening. My whole identity was wrapped up in my work, the deadlines, the colleagues, the purpose it gave me every morning. And then suddenly, my phone wasn't ringing. My son was grown and moved to another state, building his own life. I remember going to a party and feeling totally adrift. When people asked, "So what do you do?" I sort of stumbled over the word retired like it was an admission of defeat. I felt like a ghost at the feast, like my story had already been written and I was just living in the epilogue. The world, it seemed, was moving on without me. That feeling of becoming irrelevant was this heavy, suffocating blanket, and I'd wake up some mornings thinking, does anything I do today even matter? It was a terrifying place to be because I was internalizing the lie that my net worth had a shelf life and that I had expired. But the glorious truth, the one I had to fight my way toward, is that relevance isn't something a job title or your family role gives you. It's something you create. The truth is, aging isn't about becoming irrelevant. It's a golden opportunity to redefine what relevance even means. It's about shifting from a required, externally driven purpose to an intentional, internally chosen one. Research overwhelmingly shows that staying actively engaged with the life is a cornerstone of healthy aging. It's about being curious, open to new things, and willing to adapt. These aren't just feeling good platitudes, they're commands for a vibrant life. This kind of engagement stimulates your mind, gives you that deep sense of purpose, and is directly linked to more happiness and better health. As one Harvard study pointed out, finding projects that align with your values is a key way to build a more positive attitude about aging. So what can you do? How do you fight back? You start small, but you start now. Here's a little challenge for you. Pick one new thing to actively engage with this month. Not next year, not when you have more time, this month. Download an app like Duolingo and spend 10 minutes a day learning a new language. Buy a guitar and learn how to play some of your favorite songs. Go on YouTube and finally figure out how to use that one feature on your phone that's been bugging you. The act itself is less important than the intention. You're proving to yourself you are still a person who learns, grows, and adapts. This isn't just about keeping busy. It's about sending a powerful signal to your brain and your spirit that you are still in the game. You are an active participant in your own life, and that, my friends, is the very definition of relevance. Lie number 2, the lie of inevitable decline. Your body and mind are destined to fail. This lie is woven right into the fabric of our culture. We see it in the assumption that every forgotten name is a senior moment, a sign of impending doom. We hear in the phrase, "Oh, I'm too old for that," whether we're talking about a brisk walk or a new hobby. This lie tells us our bodies and minds are on a one-way track downhill, and the best we can do is manage the decay. It's a narrative of fear, and frankly, it's designed to sell us anti-aging cream and supplemental insurance. I'll confess, I bought into this. I worked out in my gym less, I reduced my running speed and distance. I wasn't as mindful when it came to what I put in my mouth, and I slowed down my stretching. But then I asked myself, why am I doing this? The truth is, while our bodies certainly change, this narrative of inevitable catastrophic decline is a gross exaggeration, and in many ways it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's a quote out there that I love, and it goes like this: "We don't stop exercising because we get old. We get old because we stop exercising." And we can use this for anything. I'm going to modify this with my own quote that I think is even more relevant. We don't stop living our best life because we get old. We get old because we stop living our best life. Think about it. One of the most exciting fields in science is the study of neuroplasticity, which has proven that our brains are remarkably adaptable. They can reorganize, strengthen, and form new neural pathways throughout our entire lives. The brain's ability to change and learn doesn't just switch off. Lifelong learning and new experiences literally build a stronger, more resilient brain. That forgotten name is far more likely due to a lapse in intention than it is to a failing mind. Physically, the same principles apply. Study after study shows we can build muscle and improve our cardiovascular health at any age. The World Health Organization says that physical activity and a good diet can effectively tackle many of the issues we associate with old age, like the loss of strength or bone density. But what's even more powerful is our mindset. A staggering study from Yale psychologist Becca Levy found that people with a positive view of their own aging lived on average 7.5 years longer than those with negative views. To put it in perspective, that's a bigger impact on lifespan than having low cholesterol, low blood pressure, or even quitting smoking. What you believe about getting older directly impacts how you actually get older. The mind is a powerful thing. And please don't use this as an excuse to start smoking and eating a bunch of saturated fat. Your body is a temple, and you need to treat it as that. So what's the game plan? It starts with your language, both the words you say out loud and the ones you say to yourself. The next time you think, I can't do that anymore, I want you to stop and ask a different question. How could I do this differently? For my workouts and running, I keep it to 5 days a week, use a program like beachbody.com so it's like I have a personal trainer, and keep my running to 3 miles at a time at a 10 to 11 minute pace. I've also dialed in my diet, which has been plant-based for 6 years now. So I challenge you, think of one activity you've given up because you felt too old. Now brainstorm one adaptation, just one, that can let you back in. It might not look the same as it did when you were 25, but the joy and the benefits are still there for the taking. This isn't about pretending you're a teenager. It's about refusing to let the lie of decline write the rules for your life. Never forget that you're the one who's in charge here. Lie number 3, the lie of isolation. You were meant to be alone. This lie is a quiet one. It's a creeping assumption that as we age, our world is supposed to shrink. Friends move on or pass on. Kids get consumed by their own families, and our social circles just naturally dwindle until we're left with quiet solitude. This story presents loneliness not as a problem to solve, but as a normal, unavoidable part of a long life. It's a passive acceptance of a fate that is quite literally deadly. Now, being a bit of an introvert myself and moving from Maryland to California to New York City in just a few years, I experienced this lie firsthand. And I admit, I am not strong here and can improve. Luckily, my wife is very sociable and very good at making friends. Our social life is strong. Now, if she wasn't around, I would have to make more of an effort to find my people. Having a YouTube channel is helpful, and I do have conversations with other content creators and also people who watch my videos. We also meet people at the gym and while running or walking in the park, going to shows, etc. If you put some effort into it, you can find new people. The thing is, there is a mountain of evidence out there backing this, that social connection isn't just a nice to have. As we get older, it's an absolute biological necessity. Health organizations like the World Health Organization, that's WHO, have stated that social isolation is as damaging to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day and is even more dangerous than obesity. A lack of connection is linked to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and depression. On the flip side, people with strong social ties are far less likely to see cognitive decline. Socializing actually stimulates your attention and memory, strengthening your neural networks. It's like exercise for your brain, building a cognitive reserve that makes you more resilient. A 2025 study even highlighted that older adults with diverse, active relationships reported the highest levels of health and happiness. It's not about being a social butterfly, it's about having that core sense of belonging. So here's a two-part challenge for you, if you decide to take it. First, be an archaeologist of your own life. Right after this video, I want you to pick up the phone, don't text, call one person you generally care about but haven't talked to in at least a month. Reconnect. Nurture that existing root. The second part is about planting a new seed. Go online and find one local group that aligns with the interests of yours. A book club, a hiking group, a running, jogging group, a volunteer spot at an animal shelter, a community garden. Then take the first step. Send the email, make the call, or just show up to one meeting. The goal isn't to suddenly have 1,000 friends. The goal is to intentionally fight back against the creeping tide of isolation. It's an active process of tending to what one expert called your social garden. You have to water the plants you have and not be afraid to plant new ones. Your life, quite literally, depends on it. If any of these lies of irrelevance, decline, or isolation have hit home for you, let me know in the comments which one you are officially breaking up with today. And while you're down there, if you're getting something out of this conversation, I'd be so honored if you subscribe to the channel. Together we can change the story for good. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button either. For years, I was fighting these lies as separate battles. I fought to feel relevant after I retired. I pushed myself to adapt my hobbies. I forced myself to rebuild a social life. And honestly, it was exhausting. I was winning a few skirmishes here and there, but it felt like I was still losing the war. That underlying fear, that cultural weight of aging as a negative, was still sitting on my shoulders. My real turning point didn't come from a big victory, but from a quiet moment of reflection. It dawned on me that I was operating from a fixed mindset. I saw every challenge, an aching elbow, a forgotten name, a quiet weekend, as proof that my abilities were fixed and were now in decline. The shift happened when I realized that I could choose a growth mindset instead. This idea comes from psychologist Carol Dweck, and it's the simple belief that our abilities and our happiness can be developed our entire lives, not just at the beginning. This is the master key that unlocks the whole prison. With a growth mindset, challenge isn't a final verdict. It's an opportunity. An aching elbow isn't a command to stop. It's a signal to get creative. A quiet weekend isn't a sign of loneliness. It's an open space you can choose to fill. This was the moment I truly understood the concept of agency. I was not a passive victim of the aging process. I was the author of my own aging story. This is the reason why I wrote my book, My Journey to the Fountain of Youth, and created my Healthy Lifestyle and Living Your Best Life YouTube channel about 6 years ago. Believe me, this channel keeps me very busy now, but I love it. The story of decline is just a default narrative, the one society hands you. But I realized I had the power to pick up the pen and write a completely different story, one of growth, learning, connection, and wisdom. This wasn't about denying reality. It was about reframing my relationship with it. It was about focusing with relentless passion on the things I could control. That single shift from a fix to a growth mindset was the most powerful anti-aging tool I've ever found. It changed everything. So how do we move from just calling out lies to actively building this new reality? It comes down to writing that new story built on a few core principles. First, let curiosity be your compass. We have to stop thinking that learning is something that ends with school. Lifelong learning isn't just a cute hobby. It's a neurological imperative for a healthy brain. Curiosity is the engine of all growth. When you actively seek out new information, you're literally forging new pathways in your brain. Make it a daily practice to ask why or how does this work. Follow that little thread of curiosity wherever it leads, whether it's to a documentary, a book, a podcast, a healthy lifestyle, a YouTube video like this one, or just a conversation. Let it guide you toward engagement and to keep your world expanding instead of shrinking. Second, practice internal gratitude. I know this may sound like a cliche, but its effects are backed by science. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to retrain your brain to focus on what you have, not what you've lost. It shifts your personal narrative from decline to abundance. It doesn't mean that you ignore life's hardships. It means you make a conscious choice every single day to notice the good. Try this. Every night before bed or first thing in the morning, whatever works for you, write down 3 specific things from your day or the day before that you are grateful for. The taste of your morning coffee, a kind word from a stranger, the beauty of a sunset, the fact that despite incredible odds, you were born on this planet that can inhabit life. This simple act rewires your brain to scan for the positive, which is deeply connected to a better mental health and happiness. Third, redefine your contribution. The lie of irrelevance is tied to a very narrow capitalistic view of your value. Basically, your pay job. What a tragically limited way to see a human life. Your later years are an opportunity for a new, often much richer phase of contribution. This is the time for mentorship, for sharing a lifetime of wisdom, which is why I do my YouTube channel. It's the time for community building, for volunteering for a cause that sets your soul on fire. It's the time for creative expression, painting, writing, singing, you name it. Your contribution is your legacy. So ask yourself, not what was my job, but what is my purpose now? How can I be of service? The answer to that question is in the bedrock of your new profound relevance. It's interesting, but when I ask people what do they do, most will tell me what they do for a living, what their job is. But the happiest people that I ask the same question to, they will say a runner, a surfer, a writer, an explorer, a content creator. It all comes down to perspective and how you see the world. Relationships are living things. They need active tending. You can't be a passive bystander in your own social life. This means actively reaching out to nurture old friendships, being brave enough to plant new seeds in new social situations, and yes, sometimes pruning relationships that are consistently negative to make room for those that give you life. Remember, strong social bonds are a greater predictor of a long, healthy life than almost any other single factor. You become like the 5 closest people near you. Are they complaining about getting older and isolating themselves from society? Or are they positive in living their dream life? always striving to grow no matter what their age is? What group do you want to be surrounded by? For too long, we have let a toxic story of fear and loss define what it means to grow old. We have been sold the narrative of decline and we have bought it. But it is a lie. The truth is, your relevance isn't behind you. It's waiting for you to redefine it. The truth is, your body and mind aren't destined to fail. They are capable of incredible resilience and growth. The truth is, isolation isn't your fate. Deep, meaningful connection is your birthright and your biological need. Aging isn't a problem to be fixed or a disease to be cured. It's a natural, powerful, and potentially the most beautiful stage of life. It's a time when we can trade youthful insecurity for deep self-acceptance, frantic ambition for quiet purpose, and finally have the wisdom to know what truly matters. The story of aging as a tragedy is just that, a story. And the most liberating truth of all is that you are holding the pen. You get to write a new one starting today. So I'll ask you again, what lie are you going to stop believing in today? What's the first sentence of your new story going to be? Share your comment in the comments below. Your declaration might just be the spark of permission someone else needs to hear to start rewriting their own story. And if you're ready to continue this journey, to keep challenging the old lies and embracing a new truth, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. There is so much more for us to explore together. If you know anyone who can use this video or channel, please share it with them. If you hold on, 2 videos will pop up and you can click on either of them and you can continue your healthy living journey. Thank you for spending this time with me. Now go out there and live your story. See you next time.